9 days after the fatal late-night stabbing of Bob Lee set off a furious outcry over public soffit. Why in San Francisco, the police said on Thursday that they had arrested an acquaintance of the prominent tech executive on suspicion of murder. Law enforcement officials identified the man accused in the killing as Nima Momeni, 38, a tech entrepreneur and consultant whom family members said Mr. Lee had known personally. The owner of an enterprise tech business in the East Bay city of Emeryville, Mr. Momeni was taken into custody there after an intense investigation that played out against heated claims that the killing reflected a city where the professional class was vulnerable to random attacks. Mr. Momeni was booked on Thursday morning into the San Francisco County Jail and is scheduled to be arraigned on a murder charge on Friday. At a news conference, law enforcement officials acknowledged growing concerns about random violence and property crimes in the city but insisted that Mr. Lee's killing did not fit that pattern. "This has nothing to do with San Francisco, it has to do with human nature," Bill Scott, the city's police chief, said. Scott Wiener, a Democratic state senator who represents the city, said the rush to judgment by tech luminaries such as Elon Musk and colleagues of Mr. Lee, a well-known figure in the Silicon Valley, was both inaccurate and damaging to San Francisco, which has been straining to rebound from the coronavirus pandemic. "This is the danger of making one crime into a symbol," Mr. Wiener said. "This was a horrific, brutal murder, and I am so grateful that the police solved it so quickly, and San Francisco does have real public safety problems. But this particular crime does not appear to have anything to do with them." Bob Lee was chief product officer at MobileCoin, a cryptocurrency startup based in San Francisco, at the time of his death. Mr. Lee's brother, Oliver Lee, of Palo Alto, California, said in an interview on Thursday that the moves to co-opt the tragedy had been agonizing for his family. "Bob loved being in San Francisco, and San Francisco loved Bob," he said, adding that young people would stop his brother on the street there and ask for advice. He said that his brother, a father of two who had recently relocated to Miami after spending most of his career in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley, had left the city for work reasons and had returned there often, both for business and to spend time with his teenage daughters, who continued to live in the Bay Area with his former wife. Brooke Jenkins, the San Francisco district attorney, said that the loss of a young, vibrant leader and innovator has rocked our city and even beyond. But she criticized what she said were reckless and irresponsible statements portraying the city as a hotbed of violent crime, pointing to comments by Mr. Musk, the chief executive of Twitter and Tesla, in particular. Rates of violent crime have dipped or held steady over the past several years in the city of about 808,000 people. National crime data showed that the city's murder rate in 2020 was low compared to that of other major American cities. Nonetheless, the killing has continued to generate waves of recriminations and heightened tensions between the city and the tech sector that is so critical to the city's economic fate. Jason Calacanis, a tech investor and entrepreneur, tweeted on Thursday that anyone who walks a couple of blocks in San Francisco, outside of Pac Whites where things seem to be oddly safe, knows how dangerous the city is, using slang to refer to the affluent Pacific Heights neighborhood. The arrest, which was first reported by Mission Local on Thursday morning, capped days of speculation around the death of Mr. Lee, 43, a tech executive who was found bleeding by emergency medical workers at about 2:35 a.m. on April 4 on a sidewalk. The authorities and family members said he had been in San Francisco on business at the time of the assault. Police officials declined to discuss details of the case or the motive, and Mr. Lee's brother said that his family was not well acquainted with the suspect, whom he portrayed as one among many tech entrepreneurs in his brother's orbit. "From what we've learned recently, it seems like it was more like entrepreneurs and people trying to make their name in San Francisco," Oliver Lee said. But he added that the family did not share his brother's closer acquaintance with Mr. Momeni or know why the two might have met on the night the killing occurred. Mr. Momeni's LinkedIn profile states that he owns a tech support company called Expand IT Incorporated, which is housed in a loft-like brick space in Emeryville, across the bay from San Francisco. According to his business card, his business focuses on the management of computer servers, cybersecurity and general IT support. Alameda County court records show that Mr. Momeni was charged in 2011 with illegal possession of a switchblade and driving with a license that had been suspended because of a past conviction for driving while intoxicated. He pleaded no contest to the suspended license charge, and the knife charge was dismissed. The charges being filed this week against Mr. Momeni include a penalty enhancement for murder committed with a knife. Sam Singer, a Bay Area public relations executive who is Mr. Momeni's neighbor in the century-old steam engine factory that has been converted into offices, described Mr. Momeni as a good neighbor, calling him bright, hard-charging, charming. Mr. Momeni's office space was a classic San Francisco Bay Area tech office with a pool table, a high-end stereo system and gourmet food in the kitchen, Mr. Singer said. Emptied of office workers during the pandemic, Downtown San Francisco has experienced an increase in tent encampments and open-air drug use in its public spaces, fueling complaints that the city's compassion for homeless and mentally ill people is complete.